Hey, what is up guys? It's Lobomon for Game, and today we got a featured matchup between Jerome and James. So Jerome will be piloting Shivamon while James will be piloting the new Rasenmon. So Jerome's gonna go first, he's gonna hatch in his raising, but unfortunately he does whip the rookie, so he will drop the level 4, which is the Exermon if I'm not mistaken. Then James is gonna go ahead and Digivolve in his raising with the Patamon. He does have 5 memory to work with, and so he's gonna Digivolve the Patamon over with the Dino Human. And then putting himself to 3, he's going to be able to play a Tamer, which is the Kari, putting himself to 0. Then we'll drop the Lotmon to go ahead and top check his security. We'll add it, gain a memory by tapping Kari, and draw a card off Lotmon. Jerome's going to go ahead and Digizorb down into Blossomon. Then he's going to Digivolve all the way up to Shivamon, putting James back to 3. But he does have Shivamon on the board, so if that's not dealt with, he's going to be burning security throughout the whole game. So James is going to promote, does Digivolve into the Aquilamon. Then it looks like he's going to go for a Jogger's play already, which is pretty insane because he's able to go into the Silphimon for a free cost. Then I believe Silphimon's going to be able to reduce it by 5k. Then he will be able to swing over to Shivamon because the Inheritable also gives minus DP, so it's definitely going to be lower than the Silphimon itself. Then to pass turn, he's going to drop the Lotmon again, going to top check his security, thinking if he wants to go ahead and add it, but it looks like he will. He's going to go and add that, draw a card, tap Kari, and choke Jerome back to 2. So you can see that even though he's not burning him, he is hurting himself. But let's see if that's worth the memory choke. Then Jerome's going to actually Digivolve all the way up into the Climbon. And then passing turn, James is going to go and start off with 3 again. He does have 2 swingers on the board, but it looks like he's going to go ahead and hatch first, then Digivolve a Patamon and is raising again. I think he missed the draw off that. Then he Digivolves over to Silphimon with the new purple Rasenmon, swings into security, and will be able to Digivolve into the BT08 Rasenmon. It actually does ignore the Digivolution requirements and costs, so that's pretty insane. Lotmon's going to swing into security, it does survive hitting a green memory boost. Then James is just reading his card to make sure that he's able to unsuspend, so he will Digiburst the purple Rasenmon to go ahead and unsuspend Rasenmon itself. Then to pass turn, he's going to go ahead and drop the Kari, so now he has 2 Karis on the board to go ahead and gain 2 memory during Jerome's turn. Jerome will play the Tentomon top checking, he does hit a Blossomon, so he will add that to hand. He pops the memory boost, then goes into the Kabuterimon blocker, and then Digisorps down into the Blossomon for free. And then it looks like he's going to go ahead and play that new option card, Samadhi Santi, sorry if I mispronounced that. He's going to go ahead and suspend the Rasenmon, then Digivolves into the Nidhogg play. Wow, going to go ahead and Digiburst. That way he can go ahead and bottom deck these suspended Digimons. And so that was a sick play by Jerome. If he had not done that, I think he would have died next turn. So James is going to go ahead and just leave his Patamon and his raising. He will drop the Tapermon, then Digivolve it over into the Pedomon to have a blocker. And then he will go into the Dino Human, choking Jerome back to 1. Now Jerome has no way of gaining memory this turn. He's going to hatch in his raising again. Going to be able to Digivolve into the Argomon. And from here, it looks like he's going to go ahead and attempt to swing at his security. If James let this go through, which he does, oh, it does bring out an Ankleomon, so it's going to come onto the board, and he double taps the Kari to go ahead and put himself back to 1. James is going to go ahead and promote the Dino Human. Ankleomon's going to go ahead and swing into security, and it does hit into a green memory boost. Now James is going to go ahead and swing with the Dino Human, and it does hit into a Samadhi Santi again, so it will top the blocker. And then to pass turn, he's going to play the Kyolili's Blast. Going to go ahead and pass Jerome back to 1. It won't do anything. I guess he just wanted to do that for the memory choke because they're all going to go back to their original DP. Jerome's going to promote, and I believe he's going to go ahead and pop the memory boost. If not, he's going to go ahead and control tempo, which it looks like he will do. His Nidhogg will swing over the Dino Human. His Blossomon will swing over the Pidomon. Then he's going to go ahead and pop the boost now. Going to Digivolve over the Argomon into the Exermon again. And I believe he's able to swing over the Ankleomon now, so he's not lethal next turn. Then to pass turn, he's going to Digivolve over into the Pismon, putting James back to 2. And now Jerome has 3 Digimons to James's 2 security. So if James doesn't do anything this turn, it will be game. And it looks like he's just going to go ahead and scoop it up because there's nothing much he can actually do with 2 memory. And he doesn't have a Digimon on the board. And so it's nice to see that Shivamon play, but it was a good thing that Jerome actually did tech in the Nidhoggmon, because if he didn't, he would have lost tempo and that would have been game for James. So going into game 2, Jerome's going to go first. He Digivolves in his raising all the way to a Kabuterimon. Now it's James' turn and he's going to go and hatch in his raising. Digivolve over into the Harrismon, and that's a pretty nice alternate art. Does Digivolve over with the Pedomon, builds up all the way into the Sirenmon. Now he's able to go to a level 6 next turn. Jerome's gonna go ahead and leave in his raising. Does drop the Pulsemon from BT08, which is the inheritable plus 1000 for every other suspended Digimon. James decides to leave his raising alone and Digivolves over it with the Rasenmon Fear mode. Jerome's gonna go ahead and pass by playing the Mimi. James is gonna go and start off with 2 memory again. He's gonna swing into the security. Does hit into Shivamon, but I believe it does survive. Then at the end of the attack, it's gonna go into the yellow Rasenmon. Will Digiburst to go ahead and unsuspend and also gain a 3k buff while minusing 3k to the Pulsemon. Does decide to swing in security and it will beat over the Nidhoggmon. So it's actually going to be 14k. That's pretty insane. And to pass turn, he's going to go ahead and play the Kari. Jerome promotes and he will Digivolve over into the Climbmon. Going to go ahead and tap Mimi because it is a level 5. Will hatch in his raising to go ahead and Digivolve over with the Argomon. Then builds up into the Examon passing turn. James is going to go ahead and start off with 3. He will hatch in his raising. Digivolve over with the Patamon. And it looks like he can go ahead and Digiburst to kill off the Climbmon, but he's going to play the Lotmon first, going to top check his security, draw a card, tap Kari to gain a memory, then he's going to go ahead and Digiburst for 2 or 3, looks like 3, to go ahead and do minus 9k to the Digimon, and Climbmon is only 8k, so it's definitely going to get killed off. Then he decides to swing into the security, does survive off the first check, and to pass turn he's going to go ahead and Digivolve in his raising with the Dino Human. Jerome's going to go ahead and promote his Examon. He does have the green memory boost that came from security. He's going to go ahead and play another green memory boost to top 4 check. I do apologize for the glare, but I can let you know right now that he did add the Pissmon. Going to go ahead and bottom deck the other 3. Does pop the boost that came out from previous turn. Digizorps down into the Pissmon. Then he's going to go ahead and tap Mimi because it is a level 5 again. Going to go ahead and hatch his raising to Digivolve into another Argomon. And then to pass turn, he's going to go ahead and Digivolve into the Shivamon. Now Shivamon's going to be able to control Temple unless James gets rid of it. He does have a lot of memory to work with. He will promote the Dino Human. And then he's going to Digivolve over the Lotmon into another Dino Human. And it looks like he's going to go for a Joggers play again. Going to be able to Digivolve into the Sophimon. Then will minus 5k to the Shivamon. And then he will use the Rasenmon to Digiburst minus 3k additional. Then he's going to use the Sophimon to swing over the Shivamon, so that problem is taken care of. And then he's going to use the Rasenmon to swing into security. It does survive. Then to pass turn, it looks like he's going to go ahead and drop another Kari so he can play reactive during Jerome's turn. Jerome promotes the Argomon and it looks like he's going to Digivolve into another Examon. And I don't think there's anything he can really do, but he does pop the memory boost. Does go into the Argomon again. He then taps the Mimi to go ahead and hatch in his raising. Cycles through with the raising again into the Terriermon. And I don't think he has the Nidhoggmon, so he's going to go ahead and scoop him here. Now we're going to go into game 3. So game 3, Jerome's deciding to go first, which kind of makes sense. He wants to go ahead and start building his stack early as soon as possible and then leave it there. That way he can bring it out when he needs to solve a problem. And so he Digivolves up all the way into the Kogamon. Going to go ahead and put James back to 2. James is going to go ahead and hatch and Digivolve in his raising with the Tapermon. I believe this is the Tapermon that gains a draw effect. Goes into the Pedomon for 1 cost and then Digivolves up into a Sirenmon. So pretty much a similar play from last game. So Jerome decides to promote, does Digi download into the Sunflower. Man, I wish they really kept the Digi download instead of the Digizorption, but either way works. Goes all the way up into the Shivamon. Now Shivamon's going to go ahead and start burning him. And that's going to be a problem for James because James loves to go ahead and get aggressive with the Lotmons. But he does promote, Digivolves into the Rasenmon, trades it off to go ahead and maintain tempo. Then it goes for the Lotmon play. So essentially he still burned 1 for himself, but he's able to go ahead and draw a card off of that. So Jerome's going to go ahead and start from scratch again. Digivolves up into the Kogamon. Actually goes into the Pissmon because he does have additional memory to work with. Then gonna pass 2 to James. James is gonna have to start from scratch, but he does have a Digimon on the board. He Digivolves in his raising with the Harrismon. Then he's gonna go and start swinging with the Lotmon, trying to exchange security. And then he does Digivolve in his raising with the Dino Human. Now he's at 0 memory. He does then play the Blinding Ray. Gonna go ahead and trash the top security, gain 2 memory off of that. Then gonna choke Jerome to 2 by playing the TK and Kari dual tamer. That way it actually works in his favor because once he has less security, he's going to be able to gain 2 additional memory. Jerome promotes, plays a Samadhi Santi on the tamer, then Digivolves into the Shivamon. Now Shivamon's ready to start burning. James decides to leave his raising and Digivolves into the Sophimon. Then is able to Digivolve into the Rasenmon. Now Rasenmon's going to be able to use its effects next turn because it looks like that's all James can do. And Jerome's going to be able to unsuspend his Shivamon, which will burn off 1 security from James. Now James is down to 2 security, and he's going to go and hatch in his Raising, Digivolve into the Argomon, and it looks like he's able to go ahead and take a swing here. He's going to go ahead and risk it. Does check off and hit a Kari, so that's actually really good for him because it does survive. However, that's also a tempo play for James because James can benefit off of that. He's going to go ahead and Digivolve in his Raising into the Exermon. Then to pass turn, he's going to go ahead and play the green memory boost. I do apologize, he did play it off the camera, but he will go ahead and add that green Digimon. However, there was a little bit of a slight misplay. He didn't get to bottom deck the top 4 search. He accidentally threw it in trash instead. Moving forward, James decides to promote and Digiburst all his Digisources out to kill off the Shivamon. Then he's going to play the Kililize Blast to go ahead and get 2 security checks off the security. And then he's going to go ahead and play the Harrismon, putting himself to 0. Then Digivolves over into the Pitomon, putting Jerome to 1. And he does have a blocker, so he could be safe this turn. Jerome promotes, does pop the green memory boost, and then he will drop the Pulsemon that he picked up from the green memory boost itself. Gonna go ahead and Digivolve over into the Kabuterimon, passing 1 to James, and then James is gonna gain 2 additional. Now, Jerome has a blocker, so he could be saved this turn. James decides to Digivolve in his Raising with the Patamon. Then he decides to play the Acid Injection, which is a pretty neat tech because now he's gonna be able to kill off his blocker, possibly go for game. Kari's gonna tap to gain a memory. Rasenmon's gonna swing, does survive in security. Then drops the Aquilomon to go ahead and put himself to 0. Then Digivolves over his Patamon and is Raising into the Dinohumon, that way he can prep next turn. Now, Jerome's going to start off with 2 memory. He doesn't have any support at this point. He's going to Digivolve in his Raising into the Pulsemon. Looking, he's trying to cycle. I don't know if he has the download. Nope, he goes into the Kogamon in his Raising. He's at 0, and it looks like he didn't get the cards he needs to. So he's going to go ahead and scoop it up from here. And that's going to be game for James. Congrats, James. Now, here is the deck list for Jerome. And then over here is James' deck list. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And this is Lobomon for Games signing out. Peace.